All right, today we are going to look at the 76ers and how they swept the Brooklyn Nets, in particular their offensive side of the ball, and three things they go to and how essentially all three revolve around Joel Embiid. All right, the first thing we have to establish is the fact that Joel Embiid is in his own right a great player. So, two things of note here. One is his ability to finish, and two is the attention the Nets are showing as soon as Joel touches the ball. These are clips from Game 1, just showing how emphatic the 76ers want to get the ball to Joel, and how skilled he is around the rim and athletic. Okay, so it is essentially a given that the 76ers, as long as Joel is in the game, which he was the first 3 games, they're going to prioritize getting the ball to him and allow that to create their offense. So when Joel sees help, the question is, what are the 76ers going to do in response to that? Because obviously he's going to see help coming at him immediately. So the ball gets swung around. This is the second thing that the 76ers are very good at, is that they punish help by having spacing and shooters. So the ball gets kicked around. Immediately you see that Bridges is the one that has to get out here to Tucker, or else no one's going to be there essentially, because you have shooter, and no one here. Bridges jogs for a second. Shot. The 76ers are going to look to punish that every single opportunity. The very next possession down the court, ball gets into Joel. Help immediately comes. Okay? I'm sure they think that Harris is probably the worst shooter on the floor, so they send help from him. That being said, the 76ers are still going to look to punish you every single time you send help. Pause. There's help comes. It's going to force them into rotation. I love what Tucker does here. Instead of coming to the side where the help came from, he goes to the other side and forces his defender to go with him. That's wonderful. Ball gets swung to Harden. Defender is doing I don't know what down here. Harden gets it. Kicks it to the corner. Open 3. All right, so then comparatively, the 76ers in Game 4 right here were a much different team. The same concept essentially still applied, but they had no Joel Embiid, who is obviously the center point of their offense, and so it looked different. So here we're still looking to see the target the help. The difference is, instead of helping off Joel Embiid, this time they're helping on James Harden's drive, and he kicked it out, same concept. Here we can see Harden loses Cam Johnson, forces help, same concept, punishes the help once it happens. Okay, so then we switch to the third area of this. The 76ers, the third thing is they love to operate one-on-one. The difference is usually that one-on-one is with Joel Embiid. In Game 4, however, they didn't have a Joel Embiid, so they had to have other players essentially operate with the one-on-one. While this worked out in Game 4, as they obviously won it and closed out the series, I think it is somewhat concerning because they had a fairly stagnant offense, and if they don't get Joel Embiid back for the start of round 2, then against better defensive teams, they might run into some issues. So all of these shots, despite they are going in and they're decent looks, none of them require any motion and none of them are getting clean looks. So in conclusion, Joel Embiid is a dominant force. As soon as they get him back, I think the 76ers will be a team to contend with for sure. The 76ers do a great job punishing help when it comes off of Joel Embiid. And then 3, without Joel Embiid, they were a very one-on-one focused offense, which might run into some issues against very good defensive teams in the upcoming rounds.